Hey everyone, welcome back to our series on the incredible life of Stan Lee. Last time, we left off with a young Stanley Lieber, full of dreams and creative ambition. Today, we read diving into how a stroke of luck and a family connection launched the career of a legend. So picture this, it's 1939. Stanley is just a teenager, fresh out of high school, and he's hustling, taking on any odd job he can find. He's writing obituaries, delivering sandwiches, anything to help his family and chase that dream of becoming a great writer. He had this grand vision of writing the great American novel, but reality, as it often does, had a slightly different and much more colorful path in mind for him. The big break came from an unexpected place, a family connection. An uncle mentioned a job opening at a publishing house he knew. Now, this wasn't some prestigious literary giant. It was a small, relatively new company called Timely Comics. The place was run by a man named Martin Goodman, who happened to be married to Stan's cousin, Jacques. So with a little help from family, a 17-year-old Stanley Lieber walked through the doors of Timely Comics for an interview. He was hired as an assistant. And when I say assistant, I mean he was at the very bottom of the ladder. His main duties? Erasing pencil lines from the finished comic book pages, getting lunch for the artists, and making sure the inkwells were full. It was far from the glamorous writer's life he'd imagined. He was essentially the office gopher for the two guys who were the entire creative department at the time, the legendary Joe Simon and Jack Kirby. Even though the work was menial, Stanley was in the right place at the right time. He was surrounded by creativity, watching these masters of the craft, Simon and Kirby, create heroes and villains from scratch. He was soaking it all in, learning the ins and outs of the comic book industry from the ground up. He saw how stories were structured, how art and words came together to create magic on a page. This wasn't just a job, it was an apprenticeship. He was so embarrassed about working in comics, which weren't seen as a respectable medium back then, that he decided to save his real name, Stanley Martin Lieber, for that great novel he still planned to write one day. For his comic book work, he adopted a pen name. He split his first name in two, and Stanley was born. He had no idea that this temporary pen name would become one of the most famous names in popular culture. His first published work wasn't some epic superhero saga. It was a two-page text filler piece in Captain America Comics number 3, which came out in May 1941. It was titled Captain America Foils the Traitor's Revenge. This was a huge moment. He wasn't just the kid who filled inkwells anymore. He was a published writer. It was a small step, but it was the first step on a journey that would change everything. Little did anyone know, especially Stan himself, that this small publishing house called Timely Comics would one day evolve. It would transform into a global powerhouse that we all know and love today, Marvel Comics. And that young assistant, Stan Lee, would be at the very heart of its creative explosion. That's where we'll leave it for today. From office assistant to published writer, the pieces were falling into place. Join us next time as we explore how Stan Lee went from writing filler text to taking over the creative reins at Timely, setting the stage for the Marvel age of comics. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more.